Hey, this is part of a series I'm making on a conlang. If you haven't seen the first two videos, you might not understand this one very much. So the first thing you should know about pronouns in Mroti is that Mroti speakers avoid using them unless they really need to. If they can get away with leaving it up to context, they absolutely will. Because verbs contain inherent person, right? So nominative pronouns are only ever heard in like ancient manuscripts, or if somebody really wants to make a point. Pronouns have four possible cases in Mroti: nominative, accusative, nominative genitive, and accusative genitive. Each of these cases, just like the verbs, has three persons and two numbers. So the grand total of these pronouns in Mroti is 24, plus the 6 interrogative pronouns. Nominative and accusative pronouns denote the subject and the object of a sentence, respectively. Mroti is an SOV language, meaning the subject comes first, then the object, then the verb. Mroti sentences almost always end in the verb. For example, the first person nominative pronoun is yal, and the third person is yol. So I have it would be yal morham la'ol, and it has it would be yol morham la'al. As I explained in the last video, mor is the third person accusative pronoun. Because the subject comes before the object, just like in English, yal and yol both come before mor. The first person accusative pronoun is bite, so it has me would be yol bite hamla'al. You might notice that the vowels denoting first and third persons in yal and yol are reversed from the first and third person suffixes in verbs. It's not actually known which is the original and which is the inverse. Genitive pronouns denote ownership.
My hair! Your hair!
In Mroti there are different pronouns for nominative genitive and accusative genitive. I'll explain that. For example, the first person nominative genitive pronoun is yalk, and the accusative version of that is betek. So my mother has it would be aga yalk mor hamla'al. As aga, mother, is in the nominative case, it takes yalk. But it has my mother is yol aga betek hamla'al. This time aga was in the accusative case, so it took betek instead. Though identical in English, the Mroti sentences use different words for both it and my. This may seem complex, and I mean it sort of is, but it would come completely naturally to Mroti speakers. Their relative complexity may be the reason though that they are dropped from sentences, especially the nominative pronouns, which are more often used as a joke to seem fancy and proper than as, genuinely semantically being used. Some pronouns that do get some significant usage are the interrogatives.
May he favour me with an explanation as to the whyness?
These are what or which, moroi, who, afkenoi, when, psechroi, why, besdoi, where, tlafnoi, or how many or how much, afisoi. You might recognize the final oi in these pronouns from the interrogative verb suffix. That's because these are essentially nouns with that suffix added on. Mroti is the word for what, but it's more literally it with a question mark on the end. Afken means person, psekhr means time, and so on. These are used essentially the same way as in English, being substituted for a noun in order to create a question. They can be substituted for either a nominative or an accusative noun, so who has it would be afkenoi morham la'aloi, and who does it have is yol afkenoi ham la'aloi. In this example, the interrogative comes in the object place in the sentence, as the question asks about the object. I should talk about al. Technically it's not a pronoun, but it's an article. It's the only article in Mroti, and it's used just as sparingly as the pronouns are. Al is a definite article, equivalent to the in English, but it's only used to emphasize or specify a certain noun, such as the way we might use this or that, or as an honorific.
Sir, I seek not to question the profoundness of Sir's wonder.
For example, the word for lord is tomr. The word for king is al-tomr. Ibad means woman, and alibad means lady. Kna is day, and adkna is today. So that's pronouns. For anyone who's interested, I've got a link to my working dictionary in the description. It's not very extensive yet, but if anyone has suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Bye.